Hi everyone, my name is Tim, also known as Pixel Jinx, and welcome back to my channel. Last week I posted my very first art vlog, and in that one I mentioned that I'm probably only going to do it for the first few episodes, but I figured I would kind of keep reintroducing myself. Um, for those of you who may recognize my voice, if you haven't watched my first episode, I am Akiba Tim from Akiba Corner, and maybe you might also know me from some BN-Games YouTube videos. Um, if you're wondering why now I'm going by Pixel Jinxed, I encourage you to watch my last episode as I kind of go over everything I've been kind of going through over the last few years and why I decided to kind of rebrand and refocus. With all that being said, last week was kind of about, the last few years and, like I had just said, rebranding, refocusing, and kind of getting to where I'm at now. And so this week, I wanted to talk about kind of where I'm at and where I'm going. So I've got a few projects in the works. Three projects are in the pipeline right now. Two are art related, and one is actually a podcast I'm going to be starting with my friend Anthony that I work with. We've already recorded episode 1, and we're going to get episode 2 banged out, and maybe 3 and 4 next week. I've already gone and registered an email, YouTube, and socials for our podcast name. This way I can kind of keep everything uniform. But the episode's still not up just yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to post it. I need to find a theme song. And maybe a graphic for when I post it on YouTube, something that just stays up on screen while the audio goes. So I've got a little more work to do. Plus, doing a podcast, I kind of like to have a couple in the can ready to go just in case we're busy and we're not able to record another episode. But that will be coming out pretty soon. I'm hoping to get episode 1 at least launched by sometime next week. Luckily, Memorial Day is it's on Monday, and so it'll give me a little time to try and put that last stuff together so I can kind of get that off the ground. I'm looking forward to it because I used to do a podcast with the BN-Games guys, well, my brother and some of our friends, and we did that a long time ago, and I always had fun doing that. And I've been wanting to do one for quite a while, but they're not so much into it anymore, and I mean, there are so many podcasts out there, it's like, it's hard to break through the noise, and I'm mainly just doing it for fun and to do a project with a friend and basically just do something and get it out there. I just want to do a project and, work on it and put it out there. If people listen to it, that's what I'm hoping, but, there's tons of options out there, and, we'll see how it goes. But I am looking forward to getting that, up off the ground and hopefully maybe doing it for quite a while. I know he's kind of seems excited about it, and we're gonna get that moving along. My second project that I have is one that I'll probably make my next art vlog for next week. I'll probably make it about that one, just because I haven't been able to shoot any footage of me actually working on it. Mainly because I'm at the point now where the project's almost done, but I am actually coming up to a very interesting part that I have to get the animations done for. So actually doing a screen recording of me working on the animations, I think will be a lot more interesting to have as kind of like the background while I talk, so people can kind of see kind of how those kind of things come to life. And, at least, then I can talk about it and explain that while I'm doing that. And that'll definitely be for next week's. But that project is a VR experience, using Google Cardboard and kind of a very, very cheap VR, like, it's kind of VR headset that you actually slide a phone into. So very, very, very basic. It's just for an intro class, but I've got a couple of VR, experience. I guess we're calling it experiences because it's kind of a level, but it's not like it's an actual game. It's more of just something you can kind of look around and kind of explore. But anyways, I'll talk about that one more next week once I've got, the actual video to show, because then a lot of things will make a bit more sense. And I might even, post, depending on how the video comes out, I might even, clip in some of that. We'll see how that goes. But the third project that I'm working on is one that you're actually seeing on screen now. That's my speed draw. This is actually for my storyboarding class, which is going to, once it's done, it's actually going to be my final project. I've got about 3 more weeks to work on it. So I would say I'm a little behind, but the thing that kind of put me behind is that I really needed to finalize the script before I could really dig into getting everything drawn out. And originally, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I had kind of started some of the drawings that were very, very rough, which typically in my workflow, I don't do a lot of rough drawings, even though I know I should, and it's something I'm trying to get more used to doing. But right now, typically I like to just kind of go for the maybe not even the final drawings, but something more close to that. I would say like an in-between between a very, very rough sketch and the actual final drawing. I usually start somewhere in between that, where I'll go back and I'll add another level of detail, a few more layers, maybe some more depth to it. But yeah, I had started kind of working on some drawings for it. I basically had written the last part of the script that I had wanted to do, but I wasn't sure how to make a beginning or a middle for it. I had the ending, and I thought the ending was great, which was kind of it's something I actually, I wrote a little while back, I'd say maybe in January. I had recently finished reading the book Snow Crash, and there's a specific part at the end of it that I really, really loved, and I wanted to use the idea, so it's more like I'm paying homage to it rather than just swiping an idea. But I wanted to kind of take the basis of it and kind of form something around it. And I think I did a pretty good job of that. And I do plan on during the summer making a story, actually making what I wanted to make. But the problem is that what I had written out was maybe about a minute of dialogue. So not enough for the project that I need. Kind of the constraints of the project that I need to do is more along the lines that it has to be about 3 minutes. So, yeah, like my script was just too short. And so what I'm actually working on now is a script that was written by my friend Jorge, who I also work with, though we could say it's co-written because I did write a bit of it, which I passed off what I had to him and just kind of had asked him if he could kind of come up with a beginning and middle, and he ended up coming up with an entire story around it, and then just incorporated what I had wrote before that. And I really, really love what he did with it, and we're starting to talk about maybe doing some other stuff with these characters, because the characters that he wrote are actually pretty interesting and definitely very funny. I'm very excited to start working on this project. Um, I don't want to give too many details on it just now, but it'll be out in about 3 weeks. I mean, we started working on stuff for it like 2 weeks ago. I passed him the script, and then last weekend he wrote what he wrote, and we kind of bounced back and forth on some brainstorming. Um, I mean, if I have to say, I'd say he wrote 90% of the script. Just he basically incorporated everything that I had written. So I am going to take that co-writing credit because I do have something in there. But it is just kind of it's mainly like he really put it together. But I'm going to be doing all of the drawing, all the backgrounds, animation, and everything. Which now I'm starting to work on. And it's one of the things is, like I was saying before, is kind of I needed to really have the script finalized before I knew everything I needed to draw out. And he was, he's written stories before. He's, kind of a comic book writer. He's got some stuff in the works, which, I can't talk about, even though I know some of it. But I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But no, he's a good writer. He's got a lot of good sense when it comes to stuff. And once he, gave me the script, which was organized perfectly, and then he, had kind of like he really put focus into kind of like helping guide me to okay, well, this is kind of what it should be, but it leaves it open to some interpretation. So I got what I needed. So now it's just plugging away and getting this project nailed down. And so it's like the video you're watching, it's the very beginning of the project. A little bit of camera work, just backgrounds for now. I consider myself more of a background artist. I know I'm definitely not a character artist. I am getting better at drawing characters, and later this year, one of my classes I have to take as a requirement is character development. And I do plan on, I have to take it. I don't really have a choice. But I take all my classes very seriously now. And I am planning on trying to get better at creating characters, drawing them, especially human characters. I'm terrible at drawing human anatomy. Torsos are always too long, legs are too short, or legs are too long, torsos are too short. And it's mainly I don't think about measuring and stuff like that to try and get it properly. But also it's just I've been bad at drawing human characters for so long that it's kind of become a bad habit and a phobia, I guess you could say, of having to draw them. Because even for this project, I don't think they're going to... they're going to be humanish, but I'm thinking they're more along the lines going to be kind of bubble characters. But again, I'm going to workshop some stuff, see what I can draw. That's not super difficult, because the longer it takes me to draw, the less time I have to actually get everything done. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm just gonna try and do them in a humanish manner, because I think that's what the project really needs. But full on proper anatomy and everything like that, I don't know if I'd be able to really force that out of myself during this project, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this done. But as kind of going back to what I was saying before I went on the tangent about characters, is that my plan and process for this is that I'm going to get all the backgrounds drawn out. I want to get all that laid out, done, because then after that it's easier to just add the characters into layers, especially, because for these kind of things, one character may have 4 to 5 layers just on itself, because if I need to animate or I need to move certain parts of the body, well, I have to put them on a separate layer, so I can just use that one layer as one piece of the body, so I don't have to, if I need to rotate something, I'm not rotating the entire character. So if I do the backgrounds, which, even the backgrounds can be 4 or 5 layers or more, depending on how complex they are, it just takes less time to do a background than it does to do a character, just because I don't have to focus on keeping them grouped together and, what limb needs to be on top of what. And it's just, I think if I just kind of focus on drilling through all the backgrounds, get all that done, and then, then I can bring in the characters, maybe make a library, and then just kind of bump them out from there. But I know it might not sound like it, because right now it's a little bit daunting, because I'm maybe 15 seconds into 3 minutes that I've drawn so far. And I've still got sound effects and background music to think about, to get done, voiceovers, voice acting, which that's another thing I'm kind of a bit fearful, but also a little hopeful, because my friend's planning on doing one of the voices. He might have someone do another voice. I'm planning on doing one of the voices, which I am not a voice actor. I can pretty much only do me, but the character kind of seems like it has a bit of me in it, so I'm thinking maybe I can pull it off. I'm hoping I can pull it off. And I may ask one of my other friends to do another character if we need the voice. I do need to do a couple more readings of the script to see exactly how many characters there are. I would like to get my other friend into the project and use his voice. I do think he could probably do a couple different voices, so I might be able to do something with him if he's willing to do it. But we'll see. And that's about all I want to talk about on that project for now. Because, it's no secret. It's a student project, so it's not like this thing's going to be in a festival or I'm trying to keep it close to the vest. But it gives me more time and I can make more content by stretching out. So anyway, that's my mindset on that. But so I've got 3 projects in the works. I'm hoping during the summer to have more. Well, I'm hoping to have these, 2 wrapped up, one's continuous, and then during summer, I'm hoping to get my storyboard project that I originally wrote, which I'm practically going to keep it the same, even though it's incorporated into the new one. I still want to write it and do it the way I had planned on doing it. The only thing is if I do it the way I want to do it, I can just do it as like a really, really short. And I'm really excited to do that one. That'll be something during the summer, because I don't think it'll take that long, maybe a couple days to knock out. But I want to get that done, and that'll be a good project, even if it's short. I'm also hoping to go back to my video game that I did for my last class and kind of go back, polish it up. I've kind of figured out some stuff in this VR class that that I'm taking, that kind of showed me how I might be able to fix some of the stuff that I did wrong in the previous class. So I'm hoping I'll be able to go back, fix that, maybe polish up some stuff, gray box out the rest of the level, because originally I wanted 4 floors. Well, actually, I think I wanted 6, but Originally, it was going to be 4 floors, and I only made it 2, mainly because of time constraints. Because I did actually start working on floors 3 and 4, although the way it was looking, I ended up having to scrap it, which I think I did restart from the very beginning, where I just completely trashed the file. So I think I'm going to need to rebuild, I'll have to rebuild the entire thing, but it's better practice, and I think it'll be good. But yeah, I've learned a lot since then, even though it's only maybe been about 20 weeks, which in some ways it sounds like a long time, and in other ways it sounds like it's been no time at all. But it is what it is. But I want to go back and work on that, because if I can get it into a really functioning form, get some kind of game restart code in there, then I plan on putting it up on Steam. I mean, it'll be free. I mean, I can't imagine charging for it. It's not that good or anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be charging for it. But if I can put it like on itch.io or Steam for free, um, maybe I can get some people to play it. Just get some feedback on it. And if anybody's interested here in playing it, even if you want to play the alpha version, um, I can DM a Dropbox link. You can install it, give it a shot, and tell me how bad it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to ramp up my projects now, so I can start building a bigger and stronger portfolio, practice my skills, hone my skills, and really start to get into this transition from, you know, doing a job that I do for a paycheck versus doing a job for doing something that I like. That's kind of the whole point on why I went back to school and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Um, Always wanted to be a game developer. Even now, I still am not completely clear on what it is that I want to do ultimately, but I just know that I want to do something with games, and that's what I'm working towards. I mean, I have a good idea of what I want to do. I mean, right now, I know I want to be a level designer. Somehow, I think I'm going to end up as a producer, and I know producers less work on the games and more as management. Which, I mean, that's what most of my life's experience is in managing. And I think I'd probably be a good producer. I mean, that's even something I think I could even do now, without having to graduate. But I'm very, very close, so I'm not going to give that up just yet. But, yeah, no, I mean, the future is just project after project. Let's, do what we can. Um, and that's what I said, I've got 2 projects that'll be done in 3 weeks, because those are going to be my final projects for my classes anyway. I've got a podcast that's going to be coming out, which I'm mainly producing. My friend's just basically a host with me. Um, if he wants to start kind of getting into other aspects of it, I'll appreciate the help. But I right now I'll be doing the editing, the posting, the social, and everything, marketing. I'll be doing all that as best I can with the time that I have. Um, but that'll be an ongoing project, which be nice to have something that I can kind of work on and put out, and just get something consistently done. Because I kind of think that's what I need. I need something that I can get out consistently. I'm trying to think of an idea for a comic. I've had one for a long time. I just haven't been sure if I wanted to still do it, or basically try and remember what it is that I wanted to write, or how to make it funny. Um, and I'll talk about that more as I develop it, but right now that's kind of just on the back burner. Uh, I am also planning on doing a couple logos or, kind of designs for my brother's YouTube channel, Salty Seas. Uh, they want to kind of, well, we were kind of talking about it. He had mentioned wanting to kind of revamp the logo or, well, their icon. Um, and I got some ideas of what I thought might look good. So I kind of want to maybe mock something up, see what he thinks, and then if he likes it, then I'll render it out. Um, so a couple illustration projects I got planned. Um, so yeah, no, I mean the next few months, look to have some promising projects, and I guess that kind of leads to one last thing that I wanted to kind of mention that I every now and then I kind of get one of those. Well, it's well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of every now and then I get the like this year in Facebook, 10 years ago, this is what you posted, and on this day. That's what it's called. On this day. Fairly often I would post these things where it's like, oh, you know, we're gonna start this project, be it a paint project or a music project, recording or something like that. And some of that stuff was planned and just never took off. Others were ones where it did get, we did something and then it just kind of fizzled out. And I, like most people who create anything, be it music, content, art, we've wanted to start a lot of projects, just never got around to it, or we started projects and never finished them. And I've, kind of just gone back and noticed that, yeah, I've done that like everybody else. I've, said, oh, I want to do this project, I want to do that project, and just, maybe started it and just never finished it. Maybe it was like a music project and I recorded one guitar and maybe the bass, but I never got around to trying to figure out how to do drums. Or I recorded it, but I never edited it, never mixed it. So it's just like a lot of little things that are, you know, start a whole bunch of little tiny projects. I mean, even art pieces where I've started to draw something like, oh, I got this idea and I want to get it down, and then I'll just finish it later, and then, do a really, really quick rough sketch, and then, never look at it again. Except for when I start going through like old files, like, oh, I gotta make space. What can I delete? And then it's like, oh, what was this? Or oh, why didn't I continue on that? And it's just one of those things that I've seen that I have so many unfinished projects, and it's just like I'm at the point now where it's like I want to start making stuff and I want to complete it. So I just want to make a project and see it through to the end and just do it. So that's why school's been great. I've made a lot of projects that I've had to go start to finish, and I haven't really started anything that I couldn't finish. And now I gotta start making projects that just aren't school projects. So those are what I'm planning on working on. So that's why I'm happy to try and make something for my brother's YouTube channel. I'm happy to start a podcast. Trying to get into the habit of making these videos, even though, time-wise, it's hard to find time to sit there and record, 30, 45 minutes of audio to, put over this. And then right now it's easy enough to screen record me drawing like what you can see here. But, you know, once my classes are over, it's like, okay, well, if I don't have a class project to work on, well, then what I'm going to work on, what am I going to have as the background for this? And so it's kind of like, okay, well, got to give myself other projects to work on. And I think you just, as an artist, I think you just need to work on personal projects. And I think that's, like I said in my last vlog, I'm not trying to be an artist to just be an artist or to just create work of things that I just want to create. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do want to create what I want to create, but I also, I'm trying to become a commercial artist. I'm trying to, make art that sells. And so that's one of those things where it's just like, the extra practice and making other things, it'll just get me in the habit of, making things and completing them. And that's what I want to do. That's where I want to focus, and that's where I want to go. So I guess that's all for this week. Um, you know, I do a lot of I do a ton of takes on these, usually trying to get it in one take where I don't have a cut, and that's when it's like you'll hear me like lots of pauses. And that's where I've said, I want to keep these things loose. I'm also trying to rebuild my confidence on doing videos again, because it's always been hard for me to start talking in these things and then just keep going, especially when I'm on my own like this. But I mean, that's one of the other things I want to improve on, and hopefully it shows. Well, I guess I'll call it here for now. So thank you for sitting here and listening to me ramble. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you like the drawing you're seeing right now. I mean, I know it being bare bones backgrounds, it's not that interesting, but some people like just seeing the process, seeing how people go through things and whatnot. And I'm just trying to take you along my journey. So please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share if you know anybody who might be interested or see that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.